The Office of the President has received a cumulative of 10 petitions seeking the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, and her two deputies, Dr. Eric Bosman Asari and Samuel Tete. According to TV3 sources, 7 of the petitions were filed by private citizens for the removal of the EC chair and her deputies. The remaining 3 are seeking the removal of the Special Prosecutor, Kissi, Agyabeng, alleging various misconducts by the heads of the two institutions. President Mahama has, in accordance with Article 146 of the Constitution, forwarded the petitions by private citizens to Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni for the determination of prima facie against them. Let's have a quick chat with private legal practitioner Martin Pebu on these petitions. These petitions, obviously you're not surprised about them, are you?
I'm not surprised at all. Because in actual fact, for Kissi Agyabeng, the special prosecutor, I think the information some people insisted on is that the petitions are 15. So the fact that it's even lower is a bit strange to me.
15,
but we'll
15 petitions against who?
Kissi Agyabeng, that's what we heard initially. And it's been in the news for 2 weeks now. So it's surprising that now they say it's 3. But well, this is the official response. But overall, I'm not surprised. I'm about to add my own petition. I'm working on mine because I also have new grounds. I believe it's possible that my grounds will be separate. So I'm also applying for petitioning for the removal of Kissi Agyabeng.
I see. Again, this time around, the petitions have not been leaked. How does this come to you, considering you have once considered to petition the president to remove Kissi Agyabeng himself? We do not know the content of this petition.
Yes, we don't know those ones. But since mine has not yet gone, I've laid the charges already in public where I said Kissi Agyabeng is corrupt, where I said he's incompetent. And the incompetent one is the easiest to prove, because Kissi himself admitted that he saw Oforiatta leave Ghana. Meanwhile, at the time, he knew that he had 5 cases, so not just the SML, 5 cases against Oforiatta. And Kissi lied by saying he went to a National Intelligence Bureau to help him arrest Oforiatta. They didn't help him. Then he went to Ghana Immigration Service to help him arrest Oforiatta. They didn't help him. Then he went to National Security to help him arrest Oforiatta. They didn't. It's turned out that these are false. At least the first response from the National Intelligence Bureau, NIB, or formerly BNI, is that Kissi never sought any help. I read a letter this on Saturday on key points. So when we present this, there's the grounds of incompetence and stated misbehavior. The head of our public, this anti-corruption institution, lying to the citizens, he will not survive it.
I see. And then there are 7 petitions against the Electoral Commission chairperson, Jean Mensah, and her 2 deputies. How does that come to you as well?
That one too, I'm not surprised. It was always clear that, Jean Mensah was going to go. You know, from the 2024 election, campaign into the elections, etc. I remember one thing, you know, when we asked for an audit of the voters register. This simple thing, allow a public audit of the voters register, Jean Mensah would not allow. So you could see that there was something they were hiding. And in 2020, I didn't support the opening of a new voters register. We had COVID, and they forced us to go and stand in the queue. Of course, I didn't go because it was clear that that was a health hazard.
But what we are doing now, Council, are we not perpetuating a cycle?
Oh, no. If the person is bad, the person has to go. It's not a cycle. If the person is good, the person
It's not a repeat of the playbook that was used to remove Madame Charlotte Osei?
No, this one's... Charlotte Osei so too. So let me be clear. Once he was shown that she a witch hunt at all. I've never said so. The only thing we say is that the procedural mistakes. You remember Charlotte Osei said So for Ekufu, Chief Justice at the time didn't give her a copy of the petition. Yes, those are the matters we are raising. And then other things like one of the petitioners was said to have been a dead person. And then also Ekufu-Addo allowed somebody to come and sign when the petition was presented without the person's signature. So those were procedural things. But by and large, you see some of them occurred in the removal of Tokonu. You see in Tokonu's removal, she didn't get a ruling on the prima facie determination. And some of us have said that this is the last time we should have without a ruling on the prima facie. Just to repeat, when we say prima facie, so that's the determination President Mahama made when he looked at the petitions and said that yes, hey, they carry weight. There is there's water or there's something in it. So Justice Tokonu should go and answer. So President Mahama should have given a reasoned ruling. Yes, he's not a lawyer, but he could have allowed lawyers to do it for him to sign. Even Ekufu-Addo, who is a lawyer, when it was his turn, lawyer Kujeto wrote the prima facie ruling for him. And Ekufu-Addo signed. So that's one of the improvements. So the point I'm making is that when it comes to the Charlotte Osei removal, the things that were complained about, they were procedural, but it remains that they didn't set up the entity tender committee. There was procurement breaches. That one, she doesn't deny it. There were procurement breaches, though later I hear, why she did also save us money here and there. But the fact still remains that there were procurement breaches. So I'm not one of the persons saying that the removal of Charlotte Osei was unjustified. So it's the procedural breaches that we want to stop, like what has happened also in Tokonu. Let's up the game. We shouldn't have those petty mistakes. We shouldn't have them because some people
Indeed,
can
Counsel,
then hang on to the
speaking of mistakes, again, during the process to remove Justice Tokonu, there were issues around whether or not the petitioner, there were issues around the prima facie case and then telling the Chief Justice, about those prima facie case. There were issues about knowing the content of the petitions against her. What should be the lessons learned here in going through the procedure?
Yes, so the lesson is that next time, as I mentioned earlier, there should be a reasoned ruling. People can assist President Mahama or any other president when the president is not a lawyer. There should be a ruling when the president says there will be a prima facie determination. That's in the interim. But thankfully, we are about to change the constitution. So in the new constitution, hopefully the president will not have a role in the removal of a chief justice because it weakens the judiciary. So actually that should be the first lesson, that we should hurry up with the constitutional review process that Professor Kissi is leading. They should have submitted their report by now, right? Yes, so let's ensure that we do the constitutional amendments quickly. Then we can strengthen this and then the prima facie ruling too. Okay, that's what I think we should do.
Very well, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Martin Kwebu is a private legal practitioner. We've just been looking at those 10 petitions against the Electoral Commission chair, her 2 deputies, and the Special Prosecutor, Kissi Agyabeng.